2 Yom Kippurs ago, my son asked me, how come we do and Slichot the whole month of Elul, and I said Yom Teshuvah we say before Shacharit. How comes Yom Kippur we say after Shacharit? Slichot is after Shacharit, it's not before Shacharit.
Good question.
Right? Right. It was 10 at the time. So I think it's like this. The Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah is much more like this, that we always do the mitzvah tayom after Shacharit. It makes sense. You wake up in the morning, you do Shacharit, right? And you do the mitzvah tayom. So after Shacharit, we do lulav hanetrog. After Shacharit, we do shofar. Right? That's the mitzvah. That's the mitzvah of the yom you do after Shacharit. So the idea is like this. The whole 40 days, the idea is hopefully, right? We wake up early because we can't fall asleep from Pachad Adin. So the idea of Slichot is not mitzvah of the Yom to say Slichot those 40 days. It's not mitzvah Tayom. It's just that from Pachad Adin, from the trepidation, so one cannot sleep so well. He wakes up early. That's the idea of doing Slichot early. Because we show that it's the trepidation of the din. But on Yom Kippur, it's more than that. On Yom Kippur, this is the Etzem Mitzvah. It's not because we have trepidation of din, which we do have. But that's not why we say Slichot. And we do it. We do it because that's the Mitzvah Tayom. The Mitzvah of Yom Kippur is to do Vidui. That's the very main thing. Right? Which, by the way, will answer another question. Right? Remember, as a kid, must have been 9 or 10, I discovered, right? First time you discover, you're taken aback. Well, the Chazarot of Shemona Esrei of Yom Kippur is not the same as Shemona Esrei. It's different than the whole rest of the year. Every year, the Chazarah of Shemona Esrei is the same as Shemona Esrei. But when it comes to Yom Kippur, the Chazarah is different. And why? How is that possible? How is it that in the middle of Chazarah, we say Vidui? You know how it is? Because it's part of the mitzvah of the day. Just as in the middle of Tefillah of Rosh Hashanah, we blow shofar because that's the mitzvah. And I explained another time, the whole Musaf of Rosh Hashanah is part of the mitzvah of shofar. The whole Tefillah of Yom Kippur is also part of the mitzvah of Vidui. The whole mitzvah Tayom, what the day is set around, just as Sukkot is set around the Simcha of Sukkah and Lulav, and Rosh Hashanah is set around the idea of Shofar, so to Yom Kippur is Vidui. That's what you understand. Well, what is Vidui? What's the point of it? What's the point of it? We have the famous Pasuk. We say it over 30 times during Yom Kippur. כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם לטהר אתכם מכל חטאותיכם לפני השם. לפני השם תטהרו. Before Hashem, you shall become pure. Right? And that's the famous Gemara at the end of Yuma. What does Rabbi Akiva say? אשריכם ישראל, מי מטהר אתכם ולפני מי אתם מטהרים? לפני אביכם שבשמיים. Now the idea is really unbelievable. Mikveh, Gemara says that. I mean, if Gemara wouldn't say that, I would be scared to say it. Mikveh Israel, Hashem. Could you imagine saying such a thing? Get all our filth, all our averot, all our thing. Where do we clean it? In Hashem. Unbelievable idea. Unbelievable. What does this even mean? What does this even mean? And what is the idea of Vidui, which I started with? I think if you understand Mikveh Hashem Israel, we'll be able to get an appreciation of what Vidui is. And sometimes, because like, what do we gain? I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. And so we say it. What's so good about it? There's one more Gemara. We'll say that. Maybe we both tied things together. Gemara in the Darim says, Hasatan begimatria
364.
Hasatan is the gematria of 364. Right? Because Satan has vacation one day of the year. Yom Kippur, Satan is on vacation. Right?
Where does he go?
What? So by the way, on vacation, Chazal tell us doesn't mean that he's totally dead. Right? Says Peleyoes, 2 Yetziraras on Yom Kippur don't change.
Death?
Right? One is Yisra of talking in shul. You have as much Yisra on Yom Kippur as other days. I don't know what it is. Every other thing you feel energized, you're able to do it. The other thing, Rahman is machloket. A lot of times Kippur is a little bit of, people are hungry, people are, it's a tense time and whatever, people rub each other the wrong way. So one has to be super careful about these 2 Averot on Yom Kippur. These 2 Averot are the real Nisayon of Yom Kippur. One takes care of that on Yom Kippur, he's in good shape, I think. Because this is where the Yisra does exist and he took care of it. The other areas we do better, Baruch Hashem, it's designed like that. So the question is, if it is designed like that, if Hasatan is the Gematria 364, because one day of the year, Hashem sort of diminishes, not extinguishes, diminishes. Satan diminishes Yisra. What's the point? So tomorrow Yisra comes back, and then, as we say in Yiddish, Ruz has no, Ruzi has no. So, what's the point? See, the idea of Yom Kippur, really, like Rabbi Akiva said, to realize the greatness of mankind. Yom Kippur was when Hashem said, Salachti kidvarecha to Moshe Rabbeinu because of Chet of Egel. Chet of Egel came from because what? Because they didn't believe in themselves. Moshe Rabbeinu is not here, so who's going to take care of us? What's going to be? Feeling dependent, not having that recognition of one's own greatness, that self-confidence, that healthy self-image, that's what brought about, right? That's what brought about the Egel. The tikkun of it is Yom Kippur. The tikkun of it is Lifnei Hashem. To recognize every one of us. There is a neshama within us. That neshama is godly. No matter what you do with it, it's a diamond that could get dirty, but it could always be cleaned again. It cannot be corrupted. There is godliness in us. Lifnei Hashem titaru. That means just as there is absoluteness of Hashem, our neshama, our holy part, has an absoluteness about it. We could sully it, we could make it dirty, we could make it black, but at core, it remains what it was. It's kadosh, right? That never ever gets destroyed. That kedusha, that greatness, that godliness. Lifnei Hashem titaru means you could become tahor because Mikra Hashem Israel, because He implanted our neshama with a godliness. Our neshama is created the most similar a creature could be to the Creator. We said that, B'Tselem Elokim. So there is that absolute kedusha in it, which cannot be corrupted. Yes, it could be dirty. It could be, around it there could be a lot of filth, bar minan. But at its core, it doesn't get corrupted. All we need to do is find that on Yom Kippur. You find it, you're fine. And that's the idea of giving Satan a break. Because once you find that, you see how great you are. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be back. But you recognize your own greatness. Doesn't matter. All you needed to do to see. On Yom Kippur, every one of us has that potential. We see all of a sudden, how much power we could have, how much willpower, how much we could be, how much focused we could be, how good we could be, how spiritual we could be, how holy we could be. So if I could be that, that's the definition of who I am. You touch that, says Michtam Eliyahu, that is the kapara. You recognize your own greatness, that's it. You recognize what it is. I'm so great. There is that godliness inside. So that's mikveh Yisrael Hashem. Right? Lifnei Hashem titaru. Before Hashem, there is that. We are right before Hashem. We have that. And that, Rabotai, is the idea of saying vidui again and again and again. I've said this before, but it's very, very important. So we go through our lives being happy with a certain image we have. Even though we say we want to get better, this and that, and we do get better. But we are okay with who we are, or we wouldn't stay there. Because deep down, we feel, you know what, I'm okay. Oh yes, I get angry, but because they got me angry. That time I really was, because it was that, because it was that. We have all the excuses in the world. Me, I'm okay, but everything else that causes problems. When I see my own greatness, I see nothing else really is as important as myself, as my own decision. All the excuses, if truly they went away, right? I got angry. Yeah, they may have angered me, they may have this, but at the end of the day, it was me who got angry. Hashem, I got angry. It was me. Because all those excuses are not as powerful as me. I have a godliness inside of me that could have, should have, would have done differently. So it's truly me. It was me who allowed me to get angry. It wasn't all the excuses in the world. It was really me. So if it was me, next time I could do different. That is the Tahara of Yom Kippur. To have that true belief in yourself. When you come and say vidui, Hashem, I was the one who didn't have kavanah in my tefillah. Because as long as I think, who could have kavanah nowadays? Come on. We have such a busy life and our phones, this and that. As long as I have all the reasons in the world that I believe it's impossible, I'm not going to do it. If I truly believe, when I say vidui chatati, I did it, it was me, it wasn't anybody else. It was, yes, there was all those things contributed, but those contributions means nothing. They're absolutely a tiny zero against my willpower, against my godly insight, against my lifnei Hashem. If I believe that, so then who was it that didn't have kavanah in tefillah? It was me. It wasn't, all the other things really were insignificant. So if it was me, if I come to the point of seeing my own greatness, so therefore, it was my greatness that could have done it and it didn't do it. If I truly believe that, the next time I could do it. If you have that belief, then you could change. We don't change because we don't say vidui, Rabotai. Our vidui is what? As they say, misafau lechus. The belief is only outside. Service. What? Lip service. If it's true vidui, that's the mitzvah tayom. That's the mitzvah tayom. Right? Just going to finish with this. I think what we just talked about gives us an appreciation of the avodah of Yom Kippur. We read it in the Musaf, and there are 4 times that Kohen Gadol said Shema Mafurash. So וכל העם נמצאים בעזרה כששומעים כהן גדול שם מפורש יוצא מפי כהן גדול וקדושה ותארי היו קוראים ומשתחווים ונופלים על פניהם ואומרים ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. 4 times. When did he say Shema Mafurash? Ana Hashem chatati aviti. When he says chatati aviti, he says Shema Mafurash. When it says I did chet, then he says my family, then he says Shevet Kohen, then he says Kol Am Yisrael. 4 times he says it, right? The 4 times that he says vidui, he says Shema Mafurash. Right? Shema Mafurash, however, 42. I think it was 42.
No,
I think it was 42.
no, I'm saying the 4 letters.
Yeah, but it was, I think he said Shema 42. But the point is, when do we come to that Shema for us? When we talk about our vidui, our chet, we did sin, Hashem. Why did we sin? Because we didn't have your holy name. We didn't recognize that greatness that we share within us, that godliness. And when the nation hears, when the Kol Ha'am Shom'im, when they hear, Baruch Shem Kiyonachon, now they recognize that greatness also. That is the kapara of Yom Kippur. Gemar Chatima Tova.